Story, we move over to Europe, where leaders of Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway and Sweden, the Nordic-Baltic Eight, have reaffirmed their unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty and rejected any change of borders by force. In a joint statement, they said peace talks can only occur during a ceasefire and must include Kyiv, declaring no decisions on Ukraine without Ukraine. They pledged to continue military, financial and diplomatic support, along with sanctions on Russia. The leaders welcomed US President Donald Trump's August the 15th summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, but stressed Ukraine's participation is essential. US Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker, said it is possible President Volodymyr Zelensky could attend, though no decision has so far been made. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said he expected him to join. We're now joined by our guest. Okay, while we wait for our guest to join, we are going to discuss the upcoming summit on August the 15th between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President Donald Trump. European powers, we've just got an update from the Baltic Eight states that have said that Ukraine's participation in these talks is essential. This follows European powers like the United Kingdom, France and Germany. Chancellor Friedrich Merz of Germany said that he expects Volodymyr Zelensky to be there at these talks. There are fears that Ukraine's interests might be undermined if the two leaders were to meet without Kiev's participation in these talks. As we've said, that this meeting is scheduled to be held on August the 15th in Alaska, formerly Russian territory, of course, which is why it was agreed as the destination. It's the first it's the first US-Russian meeting on US soil since 1988. And of course, here on NewsX World, we will bring you that updated within when the summit occurs within the next week. We will hopefully have Major Dr. Mohammed Al-Shah joining us very soon to discuss this. Okay, apologies. We seem to be having some network issues. However, the Nordic Eight has stressed that they want Ukraine to be part of these talks in Alaska between the US president and the Russian president, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. As we've said, the Nordic Eight and Baltic Eight join this plethora of countries who have insisted on Ukraine's involvement in these talks. We're now joined by Major Dr. Mohammed Ali Shah. He's a defense and strategic expert. Thank you very much, Major Dr. Mohammed, for joining us here on the program. We've just spoken about a new group of countries who have reiterated the fact that Ukraine needs to be part of these talks that are happening in Alaska on August the 15th between the Russian and the US president. What are the dangers and also of the fact that if the Ukrainian president will not be invited to these talks, does Ukraine risk being undermined here?
Right, that's a very, very good question. See, this war has been on for a very, very long time, and we had thought that it's a matter of few days only and Russia will take over Ukraine and the war will end. But it hasn't come to an end so far. If we go into the entire background of it, why? Because, of course, the support from NATO is there on Ukraine, and Ukraine has been getting a lot of aid from US and from the Western powers. So, of course, now, when there are talks on and when we are expecting on 15th August, where President Trump and President Putin are going to be having a talk their last met in Geneva, and something might come out of it. Well, President Zelensky also had met President Trump. President Trump had not been very kind to him, in fact, in the meeting, and the video had gone viral. We all had seen that. And the only way to end, I think, a war. See, it's very easy to get step into a war, and out of anger, out of exuberance, out of one can get into a war, but very, very, very difficult to come out of the war. Very, very difficult to come out of it. So I see this way that if President Zelensky is not there in the talks, definitely it will have an impact on Ukraine. In fact, to be very, very fair, I think all the stakeholders, be it the president of Russia, be it the president of Ukraine, or the peacemakers, the people who have tried to mediate, be it Russia, be it America, be it any other place, I mean, be it Qatar, or be it Oman, be it any other place, any other country. I think India has a good relationship with Russia and Ukraine, both. With America also, we have a decent relationship, and we could have been a very, very good peace broker over here. But I see it as even our talks are going to be held. We don't know what's going to come out of it. I hope something comes out of it. President Trump had mentioned that when he comes into power, he will end all the wars. And people were actually expecting a lot from that. But that hasn't happened. And so let's wait and see. And I hope, see, in an elephant and in an ant fight, elephant is big and ant is small. But if the ant acts strategically, it can get into the nose of the elephant, it can create havoc. So that's exactly what's happened over here. And I hope peace prevails soon. And I hope this war comes to an end very, very soon, in fact.
Major Dr. Ali Shah, one thing Donald Trump seems to be susceptible to is flattery, and especially from Vladimir Putin. However, given Donald Trump's current stance, which has been anger, frustration towards the Russian president, which of course we have seen change either way throughout the months that he has been president so far, do you think that is the major worry here from the European powers, that Donald Trump will change his mind once again and the pendulum will swing towards Vladimir Putin's interest again? Is that what you think the European powers are thinking?
See, firstly, America, Donald Trump has realized that the biggest threat to them is not Russia, definitely. The biggest threat to them is China. So they are focusing on building a bridge with Russia. In fact, President Donald Trump is trying to negotiate, to come closer to President Putin and make sure that things are all not so bad as it were earlier. So now, as President Trump often has, he has said something, he has gone back on it, he's made a U-turn, he has said something, he's done something else. So people often declare war before they're going in for a war. President Putin declared, President Trump declared peace even before the peace was there. So I don't know what is how much President Trump is going to be handling this, but most certainly I see it as, if at all peace has to prevail, it has to be through dialogue. And if both the countries, in fact Russia and Ukraine, with the help of mediators, do not come into table and they talk across, we can never think of getting peace in that.
Yes, Major Dr. Ali Shah. Do stay with us as we discuss further updates. But next,